So my topic is about air pollution and the causes and effects and how we can reduce it. I mean, all right. So the first thing I want to get into, just a little bit of like the basic information. What is air pollution? Air pollution is when hold on, my cameras are like this. My bad. Air pollution is when the air gets contaminated with chemicals and other substances which cause damage to the climate. It makes the air very unhealthy to breathe for humans, wildlife, and plants. So as you could see in the photo I provided, this factory releasing all of those toxic chemicals out into the air. And then for this next photo, much more like a close-up of a factory, releasing chemicals into the air. And that's very bad for us. All right, our next what pollutants get a release? So for nitrogen dioxide, um, is a combustion of coal, gas, and oil, which are all fossil fuels and can reduce lung function. And for next, we have carbon monoxide, which is a gas that has no odor, no color, and no taste, and can leave you seriously ill if you breathe it in, and is also made up by fires and appliances. And for our next one, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a gas that is also emitted by the burn of fossil fuels and other materials that contain sulfur and can damage sensitive ecosystems and waterways. And for our next one, next chemical, ozone, is a gas that is made up of three oxygens, but can be very fatal when a human breathes it. It can cause horrible chest pain and cough. And then particulate matter is made up of particles of solids or liquids that include dust. So yeah, we definitely do not want to be breathing any of that now. For our next slide, what are the main sources that cause air pollution? Natural resources. Wildfires release smoke and ash into our air and can damage our skin as well. Climate change causes most wildfires across California. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in 2020 in California, there was a specific day I remember where there was like a wildfire, like huge wildfires going around in California, even though they like happen every year. But the specific day I remember is when like the whole sky was like orange. And then I was like, whoa, what the hell? And I was like, is that really coming from all the wildfires? Like imagine all of that, those particles are getting released into our air and people are breathing outside. And then our next source is volcanic eruptions that let out large amounts of toxic gases as well as particulate matter. All right, and for area sources, gas stations, gasoline vapors released into the air and contain numbers of toxic chemicals. And then dry cleaners. Dry cleaners have been using a source of groundwater labeled perchloroethylene, which is listed as a hazardous air pollutant. Then next is stoves. Stoves release carbon monoxide while in use can affect the inside of the home. Chimneys. The burning of the wood leads to bad air quality, causing the smoke to release from the chimneys to our air. So yeah, we definitely gotta reduce the size of it. Motorcycles. Oh, hold on. Mobile sources. So for mobile sources, motorcycles, passenger cars and trucks, commercial trucks and buses, airplanes. And all of these mobile sources pollute the air the same way through combustion and fuel evaporation, which means that the fuel system is open to the atmosphere and can pollute 24 hours a day, even when the engine is turned off. That's crazy. Stationary sources, factories, refineries, boilers, and power plants. Yeah, as you can see in this picture, all of them release horrible, like toxic chemicals into our ecosystems, which affect not only us, but wildlife and plants. And then I just provided a little picture just because, describing it in like a simple way. And then the credit is down there because I do not want to plagiarize because I did not make this. All right. What are the effects of air pollution? Humans, asthma. Breathing too much ozone can have an increase on asthma attacks and can also give you heart or lung disease by breathing particulate matter. And then if you like have heart or lung disease, that could eventually lead to having lung or heart condition, like um like having lung or heart conditions could eventually lead to cancer. So yeah, we definitely not want any of those things happening to us. Wildlife. It affects the quality of the environment, habitat in which they live. It affects the availability and quality of the food supply, and it's the place in which animals live, in and on the soil as well as in the water. Although not as well understood, other forms of air pollution, such as smog, particulate matter, and ground level ozone, to mention on a likely affect wildlife in similar ways to human health, including harming the lungs and cardiovascular systems. An animal's vulnerability to air pollution is influenced by how it breathes, whether it uses lungs, gills, or some other form of gas exchange, such as passive diffusion across the surface of the skin. Plants disrupts growth through interfering with resource accumulation and disrupts photosynthesis. Toxic chemicals seep into soils, stripping away the nutritional content. So a chemical that like mostly disrupts a plant's growth is sulfur dioxide. So I just wanted to say that because as I was researching this, I didn't even know that air pollution could like disrupt the growth of a plant, which is pretty crazy to be honest. All right. How can we reduce air pollution? What are some ways that we can reduce our air and to make it healthier? And using public transportations, less gas and energy, number of vehicles on the road, and less traffic. We definitely hate traffic. We do not like traffic at all. And then recycle and reuse. Recycle and reusing can benefit our air by conserving resources and reducing greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to climate change. As we all know, climate is like one of like the most important things that is changing our world negative. So we definitely want to take consideration to recycle and reuse. Reduction of forest fires. This is a very important one. Wildfires are huge factors to air pollution. Garbage laying around dry leaves and grass during dry season have a higher chance of a potential wildfire. And we all know that more wildfires causes more ash to sink into the air, causing unhealthy air. Biking and walking has no pollution at all. Human powered and doesn't require gas. Cuts back on fuel consumption. We don't need like gas or fuel to like move our legs, right? We can do that ourselves. It gives us a good workout as well. So not only does it keep the air healthy, it also keeps us healthy. Renewable energy source. This is a very important key to reducing our air because it emits to little to no greenhouse gases, particulate matter, generates electricity with no associated air polluted emissions, and is replenished by nature. So basically like sun, the wind, water, waste, and heat, which is pretty cool. Why does this topic matter to me? So growing up in the Bay or just like California in general, I've definitely noticed like air pollution has been becoming worse during the 15 years of my life, and especially during all of these wildfires happening. And I just like want to put more awareness on this certain topic because like it can really, really affect us negatively and give us all of these health conditions that we don't want. So I just want to put more awareness so that we have a future where humanity, wildlife, and plants don't have to go through this for like the rest of for like the rest of their lives. Because we want a good, clean earth. We don't want like a polluted one. We want our earth to be good and we want our air to be clean when we want to be able to breathe. And that's all. Thank you.